Jesus Christ.
Here we are. We didn't even mention the idea of an intro, but here we are. But we're with the tuxedos are back.
Yeah, we're keeping it classy today.
Yeah,
Talking
it's
about
a
mustard
momentous
gas.
occasion. We have a table.
Yes.
The prince is here in attendance.
Yeah, we got all our little anime figures out. We got the whole thing going. For anybody who was here 2 years ago, we did an anniversary episode. And then apparently we just do this every 2 years or whatever.
We don't like make enough episodes to like consistently do one a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we had like an episode last year, but it was like just a random fucking episode.
Yeah.
This is a celebratory thing.
Exactly.
This is 4 years of Battle School Dropouts.
4 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. It's so crazy. I love my birthday is around this time. My anniversary with Bernadette is around this time. And also Battle School Dropouts is around this time. It's like there's so much
All
going
the
on.
Important stuff.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so today we're going to be going through every show we've watched, show and movie that we've watched over the last couple of years since we did this last list.
Yeah.
And we're going to be ranking them. We're going to be creating a new list of best animes that exist.
Exactly. We're gonna find the king. I guess reasonably the next the final step would also be to pit the winner of this against the winner of the previous episode.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'd also love to review a couple of our choices from 2 years ago and see how we still feel about them.
Oh sure.
as
Yeah,
well.
I like that.
Yeah, I've got a couple I want to ask you and all that, but I don't want to break with tradition too much. Bakri, how are you doing?
I'm good. I just moved. I'm back in Sacramento proper.
Yeah.
And that's very nice. Not in Midtown downtown area, but previously it would take me about half an hour to get here, and now it takes about 10-15 minutes. So that's pretty cool.
I was not ready when you showed up.
Yeah, and that was me taking longer because I had to I got part way, and then I was like, fuck, I forgot something, and I had to go back.
Yeah, no, I was like scrolling like YouTube shorts. The thing I regularly on this podcast complain about. I was watching them. I was like, what do you mean you're walking up? I still have more to watch.
Exactly. No, I actually recently deleted Instagram, just off my
phone.
I was just like, I was spending too much time on it. Like, reels are my short form drug of choice.
Yeah.
And there's no fucking difference. It's just like the Instagram algorithm knows me a little bit. I don't have TikTok. I downloaded TikTok briefly, and then I got like one of those like, oh, here's how much power your apps have been using. And I hadn't opened TikTok a single time, but TikTok was like second most power being used for some reason. And I was like, maybe this is a weapon, like a Chinese spy weapon. Like, was Donald Trump right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I deleted it. So, yeah, but what the fuck was I saying? But so of course, now the Instagram's gone. I just watch YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
But like we've complained about before, YouTube shorts are so fucking bad, dude.
Mine have gotten slightly better.
Mine have gotten better too.
Yeah.
I'm not getting like actual hate rhetoric anymore.
Yeah.
That's great.
I get a lot more because I started watching cooking videos.
Oh,
cooking
sure.
more. I get a lot of cooking stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not mad about that. I get a lot less Joe Rogan, and I haven't even smelled Jordan Peterson in like
that's
ages.
good. I
haven't gotten a whiff of that dude.
I got like one of each of those. I got a Joe Rogan and I got a Jordan B. Peterson like once each, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, geez,
like
okay.
it's
Yeah.
slowed down that, and I haven't gotten as many of the like. You know, they take a clip from a movie, like an alpha male type movie,
Yeah.
and they put that stupid ass music over it.
It's really serious.
Yeah, they're like down, 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 like the Giga Chad song, and it's like it's just I don't know what's his ass from Fight Club being like, you think that's what a man looks like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that bullshit. I get less of
Hashtag
those.
Sigma.
Yeah,
Hashtag grind culture. Yeah, dude.
yeah. I get less of those, but I do still get them.
Yeah, I still get I can never escape Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad clips.
Yeah.
Because I also just start watching them without thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, wait, this sucks. It's
Yeah.
also ending at a random point in the scene.
Yeah. I did really like Better Call Saul. I don't know if I said on the pod. I finished Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah. I think you mentioned it.
Okay. Yeah. Still really like that show. It's great.
Yeah. No, I've been enjoying YouTube Shorts more, but what I really want to talk about, there is a thing YouTube has, and I highly recommend everybody go down this rabbit hole. YouTube Shorts Live. It is currently the Wild West of streaming on YouTube Shorts.
So, wait. Shorts implies that it's small, but like
It's
short.
vertical video.
Yeah. So it's TikTok Live, but on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to like So there's the YouTube Live that knocks off Twitch, and now we have the YouTube Live that knocks off TikTok.
Yeah, 100%.
Both on the same web. That's crazy.
I know TikTok is known for like the crazy, like it has NPCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how great the YouTube Live shorts stuff is.
I haven't even heard of them.
It's insane because it's just people like there are so many videos of just people just sitting there like staring at their phone, right? There's a bunch of that. There's all these like weird like Roblox scams that you have to like scroll through. There's people like streaming video games, but it's vertical, but the game is like,
Still
16 by 9. So like they're trying to like find a way to fit it in there.
Like they're streaming Elden Ring, but you can only see the person.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Or like they fit it, but like it's only in like the top like third of the screen, and then the guy is down below it taking up like 2/3, like the streamer. And there's this weird bit that's going on where it's like in the middle it'll say like say noob and get banned, and the guy the streamer pretends to get mad that he's getting called a noob, and I think that's how they boost engagement or something like that. And so all these kids are just like noob, and he's just like, guys, stop calling me noob. I'm like, and you scroll past several people doing that like in a row.
The weirdest part about
humans.
that is like we're tricking young people, like teenagers, into using like 2008 internet slang. Like you were calling people noob on TF2 like back in the day, or Counter-Strike Source or something. And now
Classic
the year
Warcraft.
of our Lord 2024, we're calling each other noob again.
Noob. Well, to be fair, there was also say get banned. So there was.
That's a weird. Like, what are you telling the guy that he's got a big ass? Like,
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it, but I am fascinated by it.
It is fascinating.
It also has that like dark side of streaming. Like sometimes
That's not the dark side of it.
No. it gets so much worse. There was a YouTube Live I was watching a while back that was like this dude was playing this like a racing game that I'd never heard of. Like it just looked insane. And at the same time he had like an ad for like a European like Euro place. Like the guy must have been like he was like European or British or something. And so he's playing this weird game, and there's this commercial that keeps moving over the screen, and it's like, okay, this is so weird. I got to keep watching it. I continue watching it, and then the guy stops playing the game, and it's just in his room, and he's like sitting there, and he's freaking out. And he's stressing out, and he's talking about how his wife stole his daughter, and how his wife stole his $1 million, and how he had all this gold, but they took it, and his wife's actually a demon, and he's just having this full like breakdown. And Will and I, our friend Will, and I sent him it when it was just the car thing, and we're both watching it, and we're just texting each other like, is this man gonna kill himself on stream?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? And YouTube Live, so you'll just be going past all these scams, and then you're watching a man like struggle with divorce. It is insane. Yeah. So technical difficulty there. So yeah.
Whoops.
So we were watching this guy, and he's having this like seemingly like drug fueled breakdown, and it's like, is he gonna kill himself on stream here? Like it felt like I had hacked into a camera that was inside this guy's house.
So
like
weird.
I wasn't supposed to be seeing that. And YouTube Live is kind of like that. As well. Or YouTube like so it's just I don't know who's regulating it, but it seems like no one is. So you're just scrolling and you're just seeing psychotic stuff right now. And it's so grim, but it's so weird because it's juxtaposed by like say noob and get banned and like Roblox scams.
I have to wonder because there's I think I saw this video. I think he kind of like went I guess viral's the word. There's this guy on TikTok, as I understand, and his whole thing is he's like you know how some people are just like actors on TikTok, like each video is like them playing a character, and then eventually like one of those blows up big time, and they like kind of become that character on their TikTok, right? There's one guy who his whole thing is just creating these characters who are going through like some horrific tragic like event.
God.
Like it's like POV, you found out your psychotic wife drowned your only child in a river. And it's just the guy going, oh no! Like he's acting it. He's selling it as hard as he can. And he's like veins popping out. He's crying. He's got a fake baby he's holding and stuff.
Yeah.
And each one like astronaut freezing to death in the cold depths of space, or so, like each one is just a drastically different, insane thing.
It's just so weird because these apps are generally like so lighthearted in terms of like what the algorithm will push you. Like obviously YouTube has like true crime stuff and all that, and you can totally get this like grim stuff. But like I feel like by and large, especially if you're scrolling through shorts, it's not just like hate crime, brutality. Like you know, it's not like World Star or whatever.
Gay son or thought daughter.
Yeah, it's always like just super chill, and then you just come across like, and it's weird to me that that's still a thing in the year of our Lord 2024. Like early internet, totally, you just stumble across like the most heinous shit you've ever seen in your life.
That was what you did on the internet at a certain point.
Yeah,
you know, watch people die like in real life.
Yeah, it just feels weird to get back to it. You know?
Yeah. I feel like that sort of morbid curiosity is always there. And like, you know, because there's that element of like, I feel like a lot of kids have this where you've been kind of sheltered, like to a certain degree, right? Like people make sure not to speak of like too serious topics around you. And you're like, at some point, I definitely had it where I was just like, what does it look like when someone dies? You know what I mean? Like, and like, that's not a zone that I wanted to hang out in forever, but I was like, yeah, I'm curious. I want to know things. And then you find out and it's Garzi, and then you just kind of have to deal with that new reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of views and therefore money to be made on just like showing kids freaky stuff.
Absolutely, and it's just super weird that that I've stumbled upon it because I now actively avoid that kind of stuff.
Oh, same.
Like every once in a while, somebody will be like, "Hey, you want to see this really messed up video?" And I just say, "No, I don't." And they'll try to show me anyways, and I just walk away.
Generally,
you know? Like I don't want to see that stuff. But there's something so weird about just stumbling across it after, you know, I've said it 100 times. But yeah, it's just YouTube Shorts. Scroll past it if it gets too dark, but it is so bizarre. Highly recommend it.
I'm very curious. I'm gonna check that out later.
Yeah,
because I literally had no idea that existed.
Yeah. Oh, lots of online gambling as well.
Oh,
lots of that.
People love that stuff.
People love it. I fucking hate. I don't understand. Like it's been shown so many times that those guys are like sponsored by the casinos or whatever, and so like their winnings are most of the time fake.
Totally.
Yet it's so popular.
There's I definitely went down a rabbit hole of drama in the slot machine community. The slot machine streaming community, like
the IRL slot machines.
Yeah, like people would go to casinos and they're like live streaming on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and they're just like, let's spin some slots, and they would do it. I think some of them do it online. I think there's some sort of but
you can do it through with crypto.
Oh, of course really you
easily.
Can.
Technically, if you're an American, you can't do it, but also they don't really check that hard, apparently.
Yeah.
So, not that I'm recommending it.
I'm sure there's easy ways around that. But yeah, there was like some sort of drama, like some guy, I think he faked his winnings or something like that. He like won it big, and like his clip went really big in the slot machine streaming community. And then a bunch of other slot machine people were like, you can the same way that like a speedrunner fakes a world record, and then everybody's like,
wrong.
You can tell by this frame that the little animation next to the life counter skips a frame here, and that means that he spliced it or whatever. Like they did that same shit on this guy's like slot machine thing. And he got like ousted from the slot machine streaming community. It's the strangest thing. I love drama in communities I know nothing about.
Oh yeah, that you can't like touching that like just like brief little bit of like, oh okay, this is what the furries are mad about right now,
Yeah, exactly.
This is the beef.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, absolutely. The internet's a wonderful place.
The internet's a wonderful place where nothing goes wrong ever.
Exactly. Nothing goes wrong here. We never make any mistakes or say anything wrong or bad on Battle School Dropouts.
Yeah, which is why the list that we'll be putting together today is the definitive list.
Yeah.
I guess we'll compare the number one from last time to the number one of this time, but those old animes are out. Only new animes are in.
Possible that Kids in the Slope can stay in. The Slope can stay in.
Yeah,
because that was the best last time. It could be the best this time.
Could be.
Yeah.
We got some challengers.
Everything else gone. Paranoia Agent gone.
Yeah.
The Hajime no Ippo gone. All of those gone.
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen just
get them out of here. My love story. Fuck it.
Eat Man gone.
Not Eat Man. No.
Not Eat Man. Yeah. I wanted to. So let's talk about last time. I was going to say last year's. But
yeah. How do you feel about this list? I haven't looked at this list.
So we don't have to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
just to not bore everybody here, but I do got to say, you still feel like Eat Man is the worst thing that we've watched, like compared to everything else on this list that we'll be doing later. I don't think Eat Man is better than any of those. I would put Eat Man at the bottom of this list as well.
You know what? Yeah, I would put Eat Man. I feel like nothing we watched this time is as bad as Eat Man was. However, it's that thing, what's that old lady saying Watchmen, like, the future is dark and scary, but the past can only get brighter or whatever. I feel like I dislike Super Yo-Yo more than I dislike Eat Man now. Because there's parts of Eat Man that are at least interesting conceptually. And we know that because they saw fit to remake it like 2 years later.
Yeah.
And apparently that was much better. Like they made it much more like in tune with the manga and all that. And like there were parts of Eat Man where I could at least be like, oh, that's an interesting scene. That's I'm interested. This could be cool.
Yeah. And it does have that, like, not to be a totally like aesthetics dork, but like it does have a nice 90s kind of anime look to it too.
I'll totally be an aesthetic dork about it. I thought it had like the vibes were cool. Like,
the vibes were cool.
Yeah. Where Super Yo-Yo was just that one kid's anime that was super popular back then, but like the worst iteration of it.
Yeah.
I would have been so primed to love Super Yo-Yo as a kid. I loved yo-yos. I loved anything in that vein.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that was for me. This hole was made for me. And yet, that was the most boring shit we've ever, like one of the most boring animes we've ever watched on this podcast.
Yeah, Eat Man was, I still feel like, more tedious, though.
Yeah.
Part of it was the way that we were doing it, too. At the time, we were watching the shows separately because of COVID.
That's very true.
And so we couldn't.
I feel like there was a lot we could have
together.
riffed on.
Yes.
Like it would have been a lot more fun if we were watching it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think tedious is the right word versus boring. Like there's kind of a difference in this case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super Yo-Yo, I would say, is boring. It is funny. The Super Yo-Yo did beat Tower of God, which I still feel very correct about. I prefer Super Yo-Yo to Tower of God.
Damn, does that put Tower of God like
Tower of God?
Does that put Tower of God at the bottom? Because
have I been vilified from last time where I said Tower of God first?
No, I don't.
But it's incorrect in the context of maybe the show or this list or whatever, because I do hate Tower of God specifically because I hated the episodes after episode 6.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I do care about, because there are a number of shows, especially on our new list, that I did keep watching, and so I do care about the episodes that came later.
Yeah.
So Tower of God I really did not like.
That's fair. Tower of God was another instance of like just wasted fucking potential.
Yeah.
I've talked about it with you. I've talked about it on the podcast. I've talked about it on Twitter. I love big freaky place that kills you media. I love that shit. I love Annihilation. I love Fear and Hunger. I love any of those things. Shadow of the Colossus, I feel like that counts. It's a big freaky place with big freaky shit that tries to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And Made in Abyss, sick. There's some things I can't really fuck with, but conceptually, world building wise, aesthetically amazing. Tower of God is another one of those things that hole was made for me. That was something I should have like clung to and been like, this is dope. I love it. And it wasn't that even like, but I feel like even it just being in that zone is enough for me to kind of like it over Super Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
From what we watched.
It's funny you keep saying this hole was made for me. Kind of looking at the list. So the bottom half of the list is pretty much like Platinum End, Gargantia, Nana, Space Brothers, Dr. Stone, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Junji Ito Collection, Super Yo-Yo, Tower of God, Eat Man.
Wow, there's a lot of shit that fits that.
Yeah, all of those shows I feel like we should have liked that, but it just bounced right off of it. And then the line that breaks it from like, okay, now the shows above it are all like killer. X-Arm. X-Arm is the show
we had to
like,
make
this
a
was
deal
not
on
made
that,
for us.
I think we shook hands on that one.
Yeah.
I was like, I will let it into the top half and no fucking further.
Because every show past that I like for the most part.
I even still liked a lot of the top half of the bottom half. Like Platinum End was enjoyable. It again kind of squandered that premise, but it did enough with it that I thought it was fun. I still like Nana. I still like Gargantia, except that one part. I still like. Yeah, I think that's about where it ends.
But like Space Brothers is like absolutely the show made for us.
Yeah.
And it just bounced right off us.
Yeah.
It is the quintessential I believe.
Yeah, it was the quintessential
Yeah.
and I don't know. I feel like I could still come back and enjoy Space Brothers more than I did, but that wasn't a get together and watch and riff it type of show. That was like
we also watched that one separately, I believe.
no, we watched that together.
Did we? Oh yeah, I just remember it was during COVID. Yeah,
it was during COVID.
I just remember we got too drunk the first time around and
No,
had to,
you're right. We were separate.
yeah. Okay. And
Damn it. Maybe I'm totally wrong then.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe the show's secretly good if we just would have watched it together.
If only. Yeah.
If only.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to give Space Brothers another chance. Like there were parts that I thought were neat, and I thought it could go places. But like it's like a 90 episode show, and we watched 6 episodes. Maybe it's just one of those things where it needs some time to ramp up. I don't know. I don't know. It had some good vibes. It was comfy. That.
Jujutsu Kaisen got 8th on our list from last time.
Yeah.
You feel like it should have been higher, maybe?
If based on those 6 episodes, no.
Okay.
Wait, what's above it?
So right above it, we've got Serial Experiments Lane, Golden Boy, Hajime no Ippo, Keep Your Hands Off Azukin, My Love Story, Paranoia Agent, and Kids on the Slope.
Those are all killers. That's
every
single one of those is a killer. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is also a killer, but like Jujutsu Kaisen really locked in for me in the 2nd season.
Yeah. I agree. I think the 2nd season is incredible.
I thought JJK season 1 was like great, cool fights. You know, I like the character concepts. 2 was like insane.
I think we joked about it in a previous episode that like really the top of the current list that we're working on right now is Jujutsu Kaisen season 2.
Actually,
like the unsaid thing here is that's the best thing from the last couple of years.
If that were in the running, it would take first. I think. But it's not. And you know, I bet if we both buckled down and watched Demon Slayer, I bet that would be up there too. But Demon Slayer is a show that you can watch on Crunchyroll or Netflix, and that's all we know.
That you can watch on Crunchyroll and Netflix.
Mm-hmm. And that's all we have to say about that.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's on Hulu as well.
Oh, it's on Hulu now.
Yeah, I believe
3
so.
places to watch that. So
you sure can.
Bear that in mind.
Well, that's all the questions I think I had about the list from last time. I don't know if there's anything for you. The winner of last time was Kids on the Slope.
Do you still feel that way? Kids on the Slope?
I hold some reservation because even after 2 years, I have not watched more of it. What I really liked that show, but since recency bias, all that jazz, like I just haven't watched it since we watched it.
The thing about
and there are a number of other shows that I did continue watching that I absolutely adore, and I feel like that might give them an edge.
The thing about Kids on the Slope too is like, you know, that was one that I insisted we watch episode 7, and that's because like it really peaks at episode 7.
Yeah.
Like, and because that performance was incredible. Like, it was one of the best musical anime anything ever, in my opinion. But like from there, like that is kind of the pinnacle of like what they're gonna do, you know, with the whole jazz band premise and stuff like that. And the rest of it is kind of it's just more character story stuff, and it's good. But like, you know, if you came into it for the central premise of like, oh, jazz musicians, then like that's kind of where you hit your peak, and that's kind of where what I came into it for.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of difficult to say like, will you like it more after those more like other 5 or 6 episodes? Maybe.
Now, those 7 episodes were fantastic.
They were fantastic. Absolutely.
I don't want to sound like we're just dunking on Kids on the Slope.
What we watched was fucking sick. I'm just like, I think that was the peak of it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? You don't have to finish every show.
And plenty of shows peak partway through, right? Totally. I would say more than not.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very hard to nail an ending. Attack on Titan. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the rest? Let's look at the top 5.
Top 5 were Kids on the Slope, Paranoia Agent, My Love Story, Keep Your Hands Off Azukin, and Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I would, if I had to rearrange those, I would probably keep them in the same order, but maybe switch My Love Story and Hajime no Ippo at this point for me. I love Hajime no Ippo. My Love Story, I didn't watch any more of it.
That's fair. I would swap those two. I
but
think.
I wouldn't be upset about that change there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also really appreciate number 6 was Golden Boy, which I felt at the time was kind of a weird choice, especially since it was like a recency bias thing. But in rewatching a couple episodes over the last couple of years, I'm like, this show is kind of great.
Golden Boy has gotten like better and better in my head throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like it is like I don't think I'm not big on like, you know, horny booby titty anime stuff, but like this is the exception because everything else about it as well is fucking sick.
Yeah, the animation's like a 10. Like the comedy hits.
The comedy hits.
Yeah, like
even the weird toilet stuff hits.
Yeah, all of the weird stuff is just like it's like you have to watch it with the right people.
Yeah,
like you can't. It's kind of weird to watch on your own, and it's like if you're watching with somebody who already doesn't like anime, you're done for.
Oh
but,
yeah.
You know,
It's not for beginners.
Your anime boys or whatever, and it's a hit.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I would. Here today, I don't know what I would kick out, but I would like probably if we were to do it again, I'd probably try to get Golden Boy in top 5.
Top 5. Yeah, I could see that.
And it might be My Love Story, honestly.
Yeah, that's the only one that I feel. That's probably the one I feel the worst about of the top ones.
Yeah, because I really liked My Love Story, and I've seen all of it. But yeah, between all those, I think it would be the one to go down to number 6.
Okay.
If I could rearrange, I'd be My Love Story number 6, Golden Boy or like Hajime no Ippo number 5, and then Hajime no Ippo number 3, and then Golden Boy number 4, Keep Your Hands number 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Top 2 stay the same.
Okay. I can see. So Golden Boy above Keep Your Hands.
Yeah. Okay. Keep Your Hands would be at number 5, Golden Boy above that, and then Hajime no Ippo.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, like you know,
Hajime no Ippo is great.
Yeah, even at the beginning, like I was kind of like low key pushing for that at number 1. Like I was,
100%.
Maybe not number 1, but like top 3 easy.
And that's one that I have watched more of, and I really like it.
Yeah,
so.
that's still my workout anime. Like if I'm on the exercise bike or something like that, that's what I'm putting on.
Yeah, and you said it in the episode, but it was like that. I've listened to that song while working out. It pushes you too hard.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it'll fuck you up if you do it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great and terrible power.
Well, I think that's all I've got there.
Just about.
You want to get into? We should probably get into the list because this is going to take a minute here.
Yeah.
So I'll do. Let's see. So I'll do the first, let's say 9, and then you do the rest there.
Yeah.
So this is just in the order that we did the episodes. This is not the ranking list. We're going to work through that right now.
Exactly.
So we're going to start from the bottom and move up when we do the list. So we did Odd Taxi, then we did Sunny Boy, then we did Higurashi no Naku Koroni, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Revolutionary Girl Utena, Blue Lock, Rent-A-Girlfriend, Bakurino, and Handyman Saito in Another World. And then if you want to do 10 through 17 there.
And then we have Hell's Paradise. Oh, Zoids. We have Zoid's New Century. Then Hell's Paradise. Reborn as a Vending Machine. I Now Wander the Dungeon. Got to include the dungeon part. That's important.
Yeah.
We have Chihaya Furu. We have
We'll talk about that one a little bit later.
Yeah. We have a secret other one. We have Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. A Sign of Affection, Flame of Rekka, and Prince of Tennis.
Prince of Tennis, yeah. So those are the ones. So we'll be rating those. I guess before we get into it, let's have our dishonorable mention. We did do an episode called Digimon versus the Woke, which was about the stage play that the guy who did like the 3rd season of Digimon or
Digimon
whatever.
Digimon Adventure 3.
Yeah.
No, Digimon Tamers is what it's called.
Yeah, he did that, and he had a weird. You know, they're trying to the bad guys activating cancel culture. Yeah. You know? Oh yeah.
The evil Digimon political correctness attacks years in the future.
And it might sound like we're doing a bit because we do this from time to time. Like
sure.
We call Gears of War 4 Gears of Woke as a fun joke or whatever. But like this is real.
Yeah,
this is a real thing.
Yeah, the whole thing was read on stage by the voice actors from the original series.
Yep.
And the bad guy is called political correctness, and it does have a weapon called cancel culture. That none of that is made up. We're not making jokes.
It feels insane to not be doing that with it.
Yeah, he was also like a producer, writer, or something like that on Serial Experiments Lane. Same guy.
Yes, yeah. I think he was the writer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was like definitely like a big part of the creation of that show as well. And yeah. He just got real weird.
It got real weird.
It really was like just like an empowerment fantasy for him because like it's not him, but like his mouthpiece character comes up to who is it? Rika and what's the guy's name?
I have no idea.
The guy with the blue hair who's the Terriermon is his Digimon, I think. He comes up to some of the Digidestined and he's like, you guys, the political correctness and woke culture are going to kill our way of life, and they use cancel culture to threaten us and make it so that we can't speak our minds, and it's terrible and it must be stopped. And like the power fantasy is them going like, yes, you're right, let us use our Digimon to stop this, like instead of like them doing what any other rational. Actually, they kind of start at first going like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
like, what
yeah. There's a lot of
shut up.
Yeah, whatever. In the beginning, the first half of it also doesn't matter because it has
No.
nothing to do with any of that. It has this weird like time travel plot line.
Yeah,
thing.
but like Takato, the main character, is still the same age for some reason.
Yeah. It's very confusing.
It's like an Evangelion rebuild type situation for some reason. Yeah, no, they definitely start by going like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, what are you fucking? And then they see cancel political correctness flying in the sky, weaving its dark cloud of malice over their heads, and it goes like, wow, it actually must be stopped. Like that's the power fantasy is they're taking his bullshit seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wrote a whole episode of Digimon for it,
yeah.
which is insane. It's super crazy.
That's the only way to get people to take you seriously.
Yeah, if you make an actual Digimon about it, then I guess people will care.
Yep.
Do you think there's like one person in the world, just like one ardent Digimon fan, who didn't really give a fuck about that, but then like saw that and was like, he's right?
Well, there were definitely a lot of YouTube comments that were like, go woke, go broke.
Oh, sure.
Like,
There's plenty of those, but they were that way.
Like, I knew Digimon was always. Yeah, I don't know anybody who. I didn't see any that were like, oh my god.
Yeah. Digimon is based, actually.
There's nothing that is convincing in the argument of that episode.
No.
It's kind of like, this is a thing that's happening, to which the characters kind of go like, eh. And then when it's a monster, it's just kind of a monster. Like the monster doesn't show up and then be like, like, I think that we should let black kids into college. Or
Yeah. No, it's just doing monster things. And then like, I don't know, they digivolve and then Metal Gargamon is like Gargle Blast or whatever.
Yeah,
and shoots at political correctness or whatever. That's it.
Well, and it's cancel culture attack might as well just be a laser beam.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's not like, oh no, my favorite right wing comedians can't perform anymore.
Yeah, people don't like Dave Chappelle for his transphobia. Just,
oh my God, what has he done to Louis C.K.?
Yeah, no, there's no actual substance there. It's literally just cancel culture bad, and that's it.
Yep. Cancel culture bad.
Yeah. So we're not really going to even do this thing the honor of like having it in the running.
Yeah.
We're just this is our official sacrificial, just like we're a public execution to start this thing off. It's like cutting the ribbon, or
yeah,
whatever.
or like you cut the guy's head off and then you go like have some fun at a fair or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they did in medieval times.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You execute a guy and then everybody's going to eat their turkey legs and watch jousting or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's our dishonorable mention.
Yeah.
So we read all the guys there. I started. So we're gonna work our way. So we're gonna go from 17 all the way up to 1. A limit, or putting things in as we go.
Mm-hmm.
I chose first last time, so I think it makes sense for you to choose first this time.
I'm all for it.
What is gonna be number 17 here? So what are you thinking?
Oh man, there's definitely some that I like and there's some that I dislike, and there's just a couple that like I don't remember much. Like we watched Zoids and I had a good time, but I couldn't tell you a single fucking thing about what we watched.
No, before Zoids. I liked Zoids. I remember it having like a really good like shonen format.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it, but that's it. So like I could, when we get into like even the top 10, I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time arguing for it.
Yeah, Zoids is going to struggle to get to top 5 there.
But
I'll get it there. Don't you
worry. If
worry.
Gets into top 5, I have failed.
Yeah. Also, we have no silly drink this time, so I'm thinking that means we have no veto power.
We have no veto power. We just have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
We're
veto
stuck
power,
with each
you
other.
Punch yourself in the face as hard as you can.
Okay. Fuck, man. There's like.
It's a bit tricky.
There's none of these
it's not for me, but I guess it could be tricky for you.
I know you've got your sights set on one in particular.
Yeah.
And like honestly,
I was already complaining about it.
Yeah, I'm far less passionate about it, but like I do feel like cutting that as well. But like I feel like I just don't have the venom in me for it. Like I I don't have smoke for that show. I was just like, yep, it's another stupid ass isekai.
We're talking about
yeah.
I want the number 17 to be reborn as a vending machine. I'm now a huge piece of shit.
You know what?
I fucking hate him.
If you want that at number 17 and I just don't care enough to not, I feel like that's a good enough reason.
Number
17 it is.
Yeah, to talk briefly about I hate this show. They are not in a dungeon. If there is a sky, you're not in a dungeon.
That can't be your only nitpick about the show.
There's plenty more I can hate, but your title is incorrect. That's bullshit. That's
like Tower of God wasn't a tower.
I'm pretty sure it was a tower. There was a tower.
You can see the tower from the outside, but when you're inside, there's just like mountains and shit.
Well, yeah, if you're inside a building, it doesn't look like you're inside a really tall ass building. Or
but what's the difference between that and the dungeon? Then?
The dungeon. At least I know I'm in a building, right? Like I can't have I reborn as a vending machine. I now live in a building, and then I'm outside in a sky.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm in a field, I'm not in a building.
Yeah.
A dungeon is a cave or a building. It's bad. It's bad and it's boring. That's the other big thing. You learn about vending machines, and if that's the most exciting thing your show has, like you fucked up. You have the entire world of animation at your fingertips, and you've occasionally given me cool facts about old vending machines. That's the best your show can do. Fuck off.
That's perfectly fair. Like I said, I don't have the smoke for this show. Like, so if anything, I was surprised they got me to watch 6 episodes, even if it was for my silly little podcast. Like, I was surprised that I was able to sit through 6 episodes of a show about a vending machine in another world. That enough was an accolade for me.
I will say the one thing I'll give it is that screenshot of the man going, "Oh no, that vending machine's in trouble," is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Him dying for a vending machine is overall just a very funny concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I said I was gonna let you choose first, but I feel like I kind of stole your thing there. If you want to choose the next one,
don't make me choose another one, Jesus. Okay,
or I can do if you.
No,
want,
yeah, you choose, and then if I dislike it, I'll fight you on it. There we go.
Okay, let me take a look.
As it's meant to be.
My next choice. This is a tough one. It's kind of I think it's Rent a Girlfriend. I'm shooting a little bit from the hip. There's a couple I know I dislike, but I think it's Rent a Girlfriend. I did not like the manipulative boyfriend dude, right? Like,
yeah, real male manipulator vibes for that.
Yeah,
dude
just
definitely talks about how much he likes like Loewe and Chapel Rowan too much.
Yeah, well, and he's just such a sad sack, dude. You know, like he's just like, "Oh, you're only dating me because I'm paying you," and she's like, "Yes," and
you know
what?
Oh. I was saying I just totally brain farted there. I was talking about a different guy on this list, but yeah, no, that guy sucks too. Yeah, you're right. No, he's not even suave enough to do that. He's just a shitty shit guy.
He would shit on like Chapel Roan or like Sabrina Carpenter for like, why do they dress like sluts? They do, like slut stuff.
Yeah, that is absolutely him.
They don't have to be slutty to have good music, and their music sucks.
I got for some reason I was thinking about, not even for cutting next, but I was thinking about A Sign of Affection for some reason.
No joke. I was struggling between those.
Yeah.
And
they're very different.
Yeah, they are, but I hate the Rent a Girlfriend guy.
No, I'm
way
with
more.
you. Yeah. No, that guy sucks. That guy sucks for sure.
Sucks doodles.
Yeah, no, I'll
Number 16, Rent a Girlfriend.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Still better than a fucking vending machine show,
Yeah. Okay.
So back over to you. I have a vibe of what you might be choosing.
I wanted to try like eulogize Rent a Girlfriend for a second, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, you did.
No, I don't even know that I have anything. That guy sucks. I didn't dislike most of the characters like besides him. I thought like the eponymous Rent a Girlfriend was neat. I thought she was cool. If anything, I kind of wish. I feel like we could have had a really interesting story from her perspective, and her kind of navigating this really fraught situation of like these guys who are all like really lonely and some level of misanthropic and stuff, and like trying to kind of help them through that, and maybe even developing feelings for the main character as she ends up doing, I think. But no, as it is. Yeah, didn't fuck with it. Didn't really care for it. Yeah, that guy kind of ruined it. Every time he was on the screen and every time he did the like, "Oh, I just suck so bad" thing. Like, nobody should like me. Why are you here? Even though I paid you to be here. Yeah, I didn't fuck with it.
Yeah, it's so on the verge of having a good premise, but they just fuck it up with the worst dude.
Yeah.
All right, so back over to you.
Yes. Okay. God, it's my turn already.
I'm a decision maker, dude. I can make bad decisions really quickly.
Damn it, dude. The problem is there's so many of these again that I should like that I like simply because they like gesture at things that I enjoy. But yeah, and I just feel like kind of the overall quality, like a lot of these, just about all of these are better than like the worst stuff from the last one.
Yeah. I mean, I think Reborn as a Vending Machine and Eat Man could have a battle with
it's
me.
Not Eat Man tier. It's that bottom fourth for sure, but I don't know about Eat Man.
Eat Man is tedious and boring. And bad in that sense. Reborn as a Vending Machine just brings some level. It's like an ancient force is awakened in me, right? It's like when Gohan gets mad, it's really powerful. Yeah. It's like that's how I feel when I think about that goddamn vending machine.
Super Saiyan 2, more like Super Saiyan Stew. Bang, bang, bang.
Fuck.
Okay. All right. I just also have to, because I'll be here all day if I don't. I just also got to shoot from the hip and say, fuck. I had it for a second. Shit. Nope. I'm losing it again. No,
you had it. You almost shot from the hip.
Damn it, dude. All right. I just got to do it and deal with the regrets later. I think Boku no.
Yeah.
Boku no is another one of those that is like right up my alley. I remember hearing the premise of that show and being like, fuck yeah, dude, that's my shit. And then I watched it and I thought it was boring and I kind of bounced off and I thought maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace. And then we watched it again and I still wasn't fucking with it. It's got an interesting vibe. It just feels like it doesn't do much with it. Maybe it really sells it on the back half, but what we saw of it, I didn't care.
Yeah, it's just really like grim and dark for the sake of grim and dark.
I love grim dark shit too.
Yeah, I'm not as big. It's funny. I love Warhammer, which coined the term like grimdark or whatever. Yeah. But like, there's something about shows that are like, it's like I'm gonna eat all these children. It's like I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm just not in that. I'm not in that headspace.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like there's definitely a part of me that really enjoys that kind of stuff. But even still, yeah, it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah,
wasn't for me.
Wasn't for me. Yeah, no, same. I'm actually at this point. It's probably the show that I remember the least as well.
Really?
Like, I know it's been a minute, but I kind of remember everything from every other show that we've watched. Yeah. I think that's probably the one that has really stuck with me the least.
Yeah.
Like to the point that when I was writing them all down on this piece of paper here, I was like, Bakurano. What the fuck was that? Oh, it was the one with the kids and the mech and yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It's
just one of those.
Didn't really work for me. All right, my turn.
Yep.
My turn.
Let's number
see.
15.
I don't want to be the guy to get rid of the other romance anime on this list. We've had 2 Valentines, but A Sign of Affection was rough.
It's bound to happen. Yeah. No, neither of those are getting very high up.
It's so funny because we watched Rent a Girlfriend kind of knowing it would be bad and or not great.
Yeah.
Because we watched the Christmas episode.
We specifically looked for something that we thought would be kind of weird and bad.
Yeah. And because we do the Valentine's Day episodes with our girlfriends.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's pick something bad.
Let's be silly.
And then when we watched A Sign of Affection, we were like, oh, let's watch something good this year. We can't just torture our girlfriends 24/7. And then we did.
Oops. Oopsie.
Oopsies.
Yeah. It was such a bummer because I really got taken in by just the overall vibes of the first episode, and I love I thought the sort of angle around main characters hearing disability I thought was really interesting, and just it was another one it should have been for me, and it wasn't.
It's frustrating because it's so close to a home run. I love the idea of this character. She's deaf. She speaks in sign. It's really cool to see a show about that and see her go through her experiences and all that. It's just they forgot to have the characters have anything other than that.
Even her.
Right?
Yeah.
Even her.
She has that one, that is her one thing.
That's her trait.
Wants a boyfriend, is deaf. That's it.
Yeah. And it's like, does she have hobbies? Does she have things that she likes to do? Does she? Apparently, no. And apparently, the only hobbies other characters have is thinking about her.
Yeah.
So it just leads to this really like boring, like frustrating, very dull show.
Yeah.
That I wish it could be better.
Yeah.
You know?
I was really digging the aesthetic of it. But like, yeah, once we really got to thinking and talking about the actual like substance of the show, like there's just not much there.
Yeah.
I think as in terms of like a series of pictures, I think it's neat. Once that starts to coalesce into a story with characters and things like that, no,
yeah,
not very good.
Just never quite got there. I feel bad because I'm gonna push a lot of like just dude shonen shows for the top, so it
That's
feels
what we
bad
watch. That's
to
how it
be the guy. But we just missed on the romance shows in the last couple of years.
And there's a lot of great romance shit out there, and I hope we find better ones.
and I know we were moving My Love Story down when we were talking about the previous year's list, but the fact that My Love Story is at 3, I don't feel bad about that one. That one I feel like that show really kind of nailed things.
I'm with you, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to say that I don't like romance animes. I have standards. Yeah. I want them to have interesting characters.
Yeah.
It can't just be that they love each other.
Yeah. I think next season of Battle School Dropouts, I'm gonna try and find some more quality romance / non-shonen stuff for us to dig into.
Or we're just gonna have to watch My Love Story again.
Yeah, we'll just watch it again. Yeah, fuck it.
Just get it on the next part.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the other challenge here is that like, you know, for the most part, by and large, we're trying to find things that neither of us have seen.
Yeah.
And of course there are some exceptions, but yeah, like we're not gonna know how good it is until we go into it, because like I know plenty of people who like who like Rent a Girlfriend and like you know, some of these other animes that like I just couldn't be paid to give a fuck about. So you know, and it's eye of the beholder, all that other stuff. But you know, we don't know until we know, and
Don't
now
know
we know.
until we know.
Yeah. Better luck next time. Okay, number 14, Sign of Affection.
Number 14, Sign of Affection. Okay.
Yeah, we're running out of the garbage very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think I'm becoming more and more okay with cutting Handyman Saito in Another World.
That's kind of the one I was thinking, so I'm with you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, big brain boys. That's
big brain boys thinking the same thing.
It was this easy last time too, like in the bottom half.
Bottom half,
except for trying to fight you on fucking X-Arm. Like, it was pretty easy. To
you
get
kept
shit through.
saying X-Arm. I was like, well, what about?
Yeah, you had enough shit to throw to the wolves that X-Arm could be safe for another.
Yeah, X-Arm would have struggled a little bit more this season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Handyman Saito in Another World. You know that isekai anime where they do something kind of silly, like it's not just another tedious nerd who gets thrown into the fantasy world. It's great because he plays a lot of video games. This time, he's a handyman, so he can pick locks. Wow.
Yeah, I remember not totally hating this one.
No.
And it had some good bits. I did watch more of it, and the more I watched, the more I just kind of bounced right off of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think the first 6 episodes are fine, but like after that, I was kind of like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try and make any should statements with this, but like it starts out with a kind of goofy concept, like, oh, he's a handyman, he's like this blue collar worker guy who's gonna like find success living in a fantasy world. That's neat. And they do a lot of like goofy comedy stuff, like there's the wizard with the gigantic staff who just hits people with his gigantic staff. That's funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then there's also the wizard who can't remember anything.
Yeah,
with spells. Yeah,
the dwarf who like he's got like incredible defense with his shields, and he knows exactly one spell, which is like explosion or whatever.
Yeah,
those are really neat. And then they start getting like really serious, but like they didn't really emotionally prep us for it to get serious. So I was like, I don't really care when you're getting serious. And also I've been enjoying the jokes, but now the jokes aren't here anymore. It just felt confused.
Yeah. It felt like we have a fun premise, and now to be taken seriously, we need to get serious. And I always kind of struggle with that.
Yeah, it's the same thing like if the vending machine one were to trying to get serious and stuff. Like
I love vending machines because my dad was a vending machine.
Yeah, because my dad was. He got crushed by a vending machine. He was trying to get a Snickers bar out of it.
Yeah,
he shook it a little too hard and it fell over on him.
Well, that's why that's my backstory. That's why I hate that show. My dad was killed by a vending machine.
It all comes out.
He wanted it for free, but. They still shouldn't have killed him for it.
It's almost out of the coil if I just shake it just right. What was I gonna say? And like, I think it's fun when you can take a silly concept and get me to care about it seriously. I think this failed at that.
Yeah.
That's bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly fine. I didn't dislike what we watched. But yeah, I was really enjoying the first couple episodes, and it kind of fell off from there for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 13.
Number
Candyman Saito.
Okay.
Now it's getting tough.
It's starting to get tough. Because we got some solid ones this year. Oh no, this is easy. Sunny Boy. I like Sunny Boy is this high because I forgot about Sunny Boy. I would have actually put it before. I think Sign of Affection is better than Sunny Boy.
No way.
I did not like Sunny Boy.
Going purely off of our experience.
I've already fucked up. I will admit. I'm not going back. We're not changing anything.
No.
But I did not like Sunny Boy.
I get you. I think going based purely on our experience watching it, like when we filmed that episode, I'm with you. There is a part of me that's like, did I not get it? Did I like, or not even not get it, but like, did I try so hard to get it that I neglected to appreciate what was in front of me? I think I do want to go back and rewatch some Sunny Boy and maybe try to get a little further in it. But
do you want to fight me on this one, or are you good with it?
I don't know if I have another one to throw to you for that. Like, cause the only one I can even really think of right here and now is like Zoids, and I don't think that's gonna fly. And I don't want to fight you as hard as I would need to.
Dude, like,
yeah, and again, that's simply just based on me not remembering anything about that episode.
Yeah. Sunny Boy, I feel like, is a show that's like, it's so high concept that it like visually pretty cool, but like it's so high concept that it forgets that it like has to explain anything or be entertaining. Yeah. Like there's stuff going on, and it's just kind of like, and let's do this, and let's do this, and let's do this, but it ends up becoming very boring. There's also lots of shots, like as visually interesting as there is like some shots, there's also lots of shots that are just boring, like scenic landscapes.
I love landscapes. That's like a big thing for me.
Sure, but like to a limit, you know?
No, yeah, I get
you know, I don't know. It just,
there's plenty of stuff I've watched that I didn't understand at all. Like I don't know if we've really talked about it. Land of the Lustrous, Hoseki no Kuni, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the fuck that show's about, and I watched all of it, but it just kind of sitting there, letting it happen, and not like trying not to worry about like what's going on too much. Like I really enjoyed that, and I feel like maybe if I had been in that same headspace with Sunny Boy, I would be more passionate about it. But I'm not there because I haven't rewatched it. So
yeah. And my thing too with it is there was, if I recall correctly, there was an episode called either Gorilla Baseball or Monkey Baseball, and we never saw where they talk about monkeys playing baseball or something, and we never saw monkeys play baseball. They never visually.
Monkeys play the baseball.
I'm pretty sure they visually never showed us the most interesting thing they could have.
That's fucked up.
Bad show.
If you're gonna give us something like Monkey Baseball, you should let us watch the monkeys play baseball.
Absolutely. It was something like that. I can't remember.
If I had a clear memory of monkeys playing baseball and Sunny Boy, maybe I'd fight this a little harder. But I don't. So
no, Sunny Boy was, when you have a dream and you're like trying to remember it in the, you're like, oh, what happened? Hold on, let me try to remember it.
Yeah.
Sunny Boy is the opposite, where I had a dream and I was like, let's forget that one. Let's just
no, that's okay.
Let's just push that out of our memory, and then it's gone, and then I'm good.
I am very much a strong defender when it comes to pretentious, head up its ass, nonsensical, experimental bullshit. Maybe I will come back next anniversary episode and be like, we were wrong about Sunny Boy. But right here, right now, I clearly didn't care enough to do that in the like year and a half since we watched it. So more than that, like about 2 years since we watched it. So that's where it is. Number 12, Sunny Boy.
Number 12, Sunny Boy. All right, back over to you.
Back over to me. This is where it's getting like Sunny Boy was my last. Like I don't really care if that gets cut, and obviously I still cared a little bit. So
now we're gonna start fighting each other.
Yeah. There's two in my head that like I like both of them. Wait, no.
Uh-oh.
I feel like this is gonna happen multiple times for the rest of this.
Okay.
How are we feeling about How are we feeling about Zoids?
How are you feeling about Zoids? What are you talking? Our number one anime?
You could throw me another one and I'd probably play ball, but like right here, right now, I don't mind getting rid of Zoids.
For me, it's between Zoids and Flame of Recca.
I'm kind of in that zone too.
Yeah.
But I think I had a lot more fun with Flame of Recca than I did with Zoids, I think.
I don't know.
Flame of Recca was like the right kind of bad for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Flame of Recca kind of is in the X-Arm kind of slot of like get together with your boys, have a good time.
Totally.
I think Zoids is also kind of there, but I can see myself watching Zoids on its own. Not that I've done it, but I could see it happening more than I can see myself watching Flame of Recca on its own.
I'm kind of exactly the opposite. I think I would far sooner put on an episode of Flame of Recca by myself.
Flame of Recca.
Yeah.
All right. What do you like about Flame of Recca more than you like about Zoids? What's your like big pitch for Flame of Recca being better?
For me, number one is just like I'm going to like martial arts showdown stuff more than I like robots, like 9 out of 10 times.
Okay.
Like just the premise alone, like napkin pitch, I'm going to like Flame of Recca more based on that. I think again it was just goofy and bad in a way that I could really appreciate while still being like quality enough that I could enjoy it on its like at face value, like more often than not.
Okay.
I thought like there was a decent amount of fight scenes that were like pretty cool looking. I love you got yourself a world of ninjas. Everyone's low key a ninja, at least everyone who matters. I think that's fun.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
Yeah. And it just had that like Zoids has that like they're both kind of I think they're both 90s anime, right?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. Zoids has the like this is Saturday morning on Fox Kids type thing vibe for me where Flame of Recca has that like really special like I'm just finding out about anime that's not that Friday like Saturday morning type shit for the first time.
Right.
And that's just a lot more special to me, I guess.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
But let it be known it is by a hair.
We are now in the point where already at the point where everything we're cutting here we like.
Yeah,
I think.
I think so. Yeah. Because here's my pitch for Zoids as we get rid of it. I'll eulogize it.
Yes.
What
please.
I think is great about Zoids is, it's got all the fun shonen stuff of like characters unlocking things and powering up. It's got great villains. It's almost like Monster of the Week kind of sort of stuff.
Totally.
But it also has this like grand tournament arc that they're in too, where every fight they do, they're earning points. So there's like automatic stakes to every battle. And like one of my problems with Flame of Recca is like the stakes are really nebulous because they haven't gotten to that dark tournament arc yet.
Yeah.
You know?
It seemed like
they're building up to it. Yeah. So that's my only thing. But I do agree, martial arts is unfortunately cooler than animal robots.
Unfortunately.
All right. Zoids.
And I love mechs.
Rip in peace.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not even 10 deep yet, but like already it's tough to get rid of a lot of these.
So Zoids is number 11.
Zoids number 11. Yep.
Okay. My turn here.
Yep. It's your go.
Oh boy. This is tough. This is genuinely
I won't say which. There's one I'm kind of surprised that you've let get this far. I totally understand why I have, but I won't say which.
No, I'm making a lot of sense, I think. I'm going to put up Flame of Recca because there's a number. I think that's my least favorite of the list that I'm looking at right now. I know we just had a whole thing about it, so I don't know if we need to go too deep.
Well, yeah, but
like, I think I like every other show on this list more than I like Flame of Recca. As much fun as I had with that show.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think we did just say that Flame of Recca beat out Zoids by just a hair, and I do agree with that. So yeah, Flame of Recca, number 10.
Okay.
Is there anything else we want to say about Flame of Recca that we didn't just already say?
Yeah, I think it's a super fun show to watch with your friends. It's a lot of pointing at the screen and having a good time.
Totally.
So I that's not a bad quality to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that as a negative where it's fun with your friends but bad alone. Like it is. It's great to have anime that you can watch with your friends and have a good time. You can just put that show on while you're at a convention trying to kill time, or when you're hanging out with your friends, you don't know what to do. Great for that.
Totally. I do very much enjoy the character the character concepts and such and their designs. The water sword guy with his fucked up face is really fun.
Yeah. Almost worth watching that show in slow motion.
And also like it really nails that like that 90s anime weird wacky weapons aesthetic. Like that kid with his weird freaky letter opener gold metal thing, and the water sword and the wind bracelet and all that shit.
Yeah.
They were all really fun and stupid. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Yeah.
I know that show is like a year or two away from having like a weird card game added to it.
Yeah.
You know, and that being
and I would have played the fuck out of that.
100%, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy with Flame of Recca being where it is. I think that is a middle of the pack ass anime, and that's where it is.
Yeah, I think we got all winners from here on out.
Yeah.
So over to you now.
Over to me. Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna float one out here.
Okay.
I'm thinking Hell's Paradise.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be my next choice, I think. I actually finished at least the first season. I don't think it's season 2 of Hell's Paradise.
That's right, you did, yeah.
But I did finish Hell's Paradise, and I think that show's dope.
Yeah.
But by the last couple episodes, it felt like a bit more of a slog. Like, I liked it, but I was kind of like, when it was done, it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait for the next season. I was like, oh, cool, I'm done with that.
I've heard from some fans of the manga who say that like there are some aspects of the anime that weren't really done justice, which makes me think like it's the source material like it had the potential to be a lot better. That's all I've heard though.
But I also have to say I started reading the manga because I liked the anime a lot. I really like how the anime has adapted the action. There's a part in the second episode. I don't entirely remember what happens, but he's like fighting a bunch of guys, and I think he's like ripping their throats out or something like on a beach or whatever, and it just works so much better animated than it does on the page. It's just
I see
because that was Mappa too, I believe. So so the action is just fucking stellar in the show in a way that I don't think the manga, from what I read, matched. So
duly noted.
I'm sure maybe the plot lines and things are stronger in the manga or whatever, but I think the action, that's what really, like the weird body horror and the action of the show is, I think, phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That said, like I said, when I finished it, I wasn't like jonesing for more. When I finished, I was watching The Bear at the same time, and I finished season 2.
Oh, sure.
And as soon as I finished season 2, I was like, oh, I want more of
Bear.
this. And I that was kind of juxtaposed for me.
Oops, I knocked over on you.
I'll grab it, or if you got it.
I got it.
That was kind of juxtaposed by the feeling that I had finishing Hell's Paradise.
That makes perfect sense.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes Hell's Paradise number 9.
Number 9, the first single digit on the list here.
Well done, Hell's Paradise.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay. That was me. So that's next one's you.
Oh, next one is me. I think my next vote, and this is tough because I love the game, but I think my next vote is Princess Tennis.
Because you love the game,
because I love tennis. I've been
I
playing.
thought you were
a lot
talking
of
about like a video game, the Prince of Tennis.
I love
video
the
game.
Prince of Tennis.
Because you said when I love the game, I thought you were going to go for Cyberpunk. I was like, really?
Yeah, no, it's not Cyberpunk time yet.
Damn.
Prince of Tennis. I think I really like Prince of Tennis, but it's a show. Here's my argument for Prince of Tennis. It's a great shonen show. It hits on all the levels.
Yeah.
But we've got a number of shonen shows on this list that I think hit on all the levels and do something more.
That's kind of the standard at this point in the competition. Like everything here does its shit really well. I think.
I like Prince of Tennis a lot. Don't get me wrong. I had a great time watching those episodes, and I plan on watching more.
Yeah.
But I just think of the other shonen shows on here, I like it less than those. And the other shows that aren't like shonen battle shows, I like those more than I liked Prince of Tennis.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think the one thing holding Prince of Tennis back is that's another like very long running anime series, and like you have to start somewhere in order to like get to the epic highs and lows of middle school tennis. And yeah, I think if it's one of those that like I think if we ended up watching a bunch more episodes just in our spare time, it would probably like we'd probably have a lot more like appreciation and fondness for it, but. Format of this podcast, we watched the first 6 episodes, and so really we only got like a couple competitions in and had to base our judgment off of that. So basing my judgment off of that, yeah, I think this is an appropriate place for it.
Okay, what's that
number 8?
8?
Yeah.
Okay. For 8, Prince of Tennis.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, Prince of Tennis is dope. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. So while you think about what you want to pick next, I'm going to read what's remaining here.
Yes.
So we've got, and this is just in their release in the episodes that we did, Odd Taxi, Higurashi, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, Revolutionary Girl Utena, Blue Lock, Chihayafuru, and Zom 100.
That's right.
I believe that's what's remaining.
Yep.
I don't think I missed any.
No, that sounds right. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I've got as well.
So over to you.
Okay.
For number 7.
Number 7. We are officially in the like not only the top 10 but the top half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not counting the Digimon thing, there were 17 total. So half of 17 is 8.5. So yeah. So number 8 was kind of the top half divider.
Okay. Well done, Prince of Tennis.
Yeah.
You're at the same level of X-Arm.
Yeah, the bottom of the top. I think based on what
Prince
we
of Tennis is way better than X-Arm.
Oh,
just
yeah,
so nobody's mad.
By leaps and bounds, yes. You have to understand, we're also not smart.
But this is also the definitive best anime list.
Exactly.
So you just got to deal with that.
That being said, yeah, if you get into an argument with someone about what the best anime is, you can point them to this episode, and they'll just have to shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Because clearly they're empirically wrong.
Oh, you think you know what the best anime is? Here's a 2-hour video to prove you wrong, idiot.
They'll have their list of logical fallacies, and they'll go like, appeal to authority, and I don't know what you do.
Yeah. Well, no, we are the authority.
We are the authority, actually.
Appeal to authority? Yeah.
It works in this case, actually.
Yeah, that's us.
Okay. Number 7 is I'm thinking Zom 100.
Number 7 for Zom 100.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna disagree with you pretty hard on that one.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might happen.
Yeah.
And I have an idea of what you're gonna throw instead, but I want to.
I'm gonna throw honestly most other shows under there.
Most.
Dude, I think Zom 100 is like top 3 easy.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It's got great heart, great message, fun characters, incredible animation.
Great animation.
It is just a blast through and through. It's got dilemmas, it's got problems, it's got hopes, it's got dreams, and it looks good to boot. I mean, I love Zom 100.
Man.
I think that show's fantastic.
Did you watch more of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but I've watched more of it.
I think part of my because like I like Zom 100 quite a bit as well. I liked all of these quite a bit. Like the stuff that's remaining. I think one reservation for me like might just be a subconscious like I've heard it got canceled. I think like it didn't finish.
Oh no, cancel culture got it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Digimon were right.
Political correctness came from the sky and zapped it with this cancel culture beam.
They had the big titty samurai girl, and they're like, "You're done."
Objectification of women. Bam. No, I think it just like ran into budget or production issues or something like that. Like something. That's what I've heard anyway. So maybe that's part of why like I'm less hot on it is because like I can't really be optimistic for its future.
But I think the episodes that are there are great.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just going based on those 6 episodes, absolutely. I think just about everything else on this list, like we're getting into the like hit me emotionally territory, and I feel like Zom 100 is like the least of that for me.
Oh, it made me think about my friends, and I love my friends.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing.
Give me something else. I'll think about it. But.
So the other shows that are a little bit lower for me are like Chihayafuru and like Higurashi, which like I like both those shows a lot. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're, and while they have some good emotional stuff and whatnot, I don't think they're as visually compelling. While also like what I like about Zom 100 is it's a total package.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas like Higurashi could be a little bit visually better. Chihayafuru also could be a little visually better. You know. Like,
Yeah.
There's stuff I like, but Zom 100 also moves at a really good pace, kind of compared to those two, I think, as well.
This is all true. I think Higurashi kind of suffers from. That was the one I was saying. I was surprised that you have like allowed to go this far.
I liked Higurashi a lot.
I liked Higurashi a lot too.
I'm glad you're surprised because yes, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, I mean it was dope. Yeah. I think if there's one thing that, like, my one reservation on Higurashi, I guess, is knowing how much of like a tapestry that overall story has. We got so little of it from those 6 episodes. Well, you would get so little of it from even watching the full anime because it's like got the, the source material is so much more expansive. So like, That's pretty much the only reason I'm like entertaining the notion of like putting Higurashi here like at this slot.
Because but that's kind of like it could be better.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but based on what we've watched, like Higurashi was great, but like we got like the perfect. We got through the Onikakushi like arc. That's it. Like we got through one of like 8 arcs.
But that slice of Zom 100, I think, is a stronger slice than Higurashi.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And even Chihayafuru, which I did really like, I think Zom 100, again, it's just that total package. It's just that slice was like perfect. I want more. I'd love to have more.
I think my prediction for what happens next is you cut Chihayafuru and I say no.
I know what my next pick is.
Is it?
So
well, let's. You know what? Yeah. Okay. Yes. I will substitute. I will throw in Higurashi for number 7.
Okay.
Number 7.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Higurashi here.
Yeah.
Because I can get behind that. Higurashi, I think, is dope. Like it's so freaky and it's so weird, and I love it that it has arcs, I guess. I don't know, where like you're dealing with the same characters, but now Michael's the killer or Jeff's the killer. Whoever. And I think that's a really interesting way to go about telling a story. It leaves for a lot of really cool options. The character designs are insane, but
it's got a sort of I don't know what's an Among Us sort of quality to it, where like you don't know who the freaky guy is until it's too late. And I think in so doing, it makes it so that you have a horror story between these like 5 or 6 characters, and you can like and appreciate all of those characters as who they are, in addition to like, because like there's shows like or stories like I don't know. Say Persona 5. We all know Persona 5. There's the guy who turns out to be the bad guy. I'll spare the spoilers, but like one character turns out to be a real like Judas type guy. He betrays you. And then when you know that, because I got that spoiled for me like post haste. People on the internet suck. And so even when I saw him in like the first part of the game, I was like, oh, it's that. Fuck that guy. He's the bad guy. I don't like him. You can't really do that with Higurashi because they kind of take turns being the psycho, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think
that's really neat.
They do a good job of psycho too, because it's like
they do a great job. Yeah.
It's like these characters who are like doing bad things, but like they're also like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you mad at me? Like, there's like the manipulation part of it too that like is stressful as well.
It plays on a sort of like social anxiety that I think a lot of people like feel is like not being able to read somebody's true intentions. You know? Like, or this is somebody that you know and you trust, but like when you get that bad feeling, it's like is this something I should be worried about, or am I thinking too far into it? You know?
Right. And like, who's going to believe me if I am right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like everybody likes this person. Why? Who's gonna believe me if I say that they're trying to hurt me?
Yeah. And also like I like this person. Like I don't want to believe that that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets to be too late. Like I think that's really neat.
Higurashi is it's stressful. I like it.
I think it's really neat. And in addition to that, I think it does a lot of cool stuff like aesthetically. I think like the music and the visuals and stuff can be very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, really awesome show, Higurashi no Naku Koroni. I would love to see it go higher, but it's also got really stiff competition. So
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. What is my next choice, Bakari?
What is your next choice, Stu?
What is my next choice? Let me ask how you feel about this. Should I be choosing a show that I think is better or that a show that I like more? What's the vibe you're going?
I'm being guided entirely by my emotions here.
My emotions? Okay.
I don't, even if I did think that I had some sort of like education or like enlightened opinion on like what is or is not good art or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's stupid. So yeah.
Then let me whip this one at you.
Let me hear it.
I think for, what is this, number 6?
Number 6.
I'm going to put Odd Taxi.
You can go fuck yourself. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
Nah, Taxi.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
No.
I like Odd Taxi. I think it's got some fun characters. I think there's some good stuff. I cannot finish that show. Every time I get into it and I'm like watching it, I'm like, this is pretty good. I have watched beyond episode 6 and all that.
Crazy.
I just cannot finish it.
Really?
Yeah. I get bored and I move on.
I loved every minute of that show. I watched the whole thing.
I think it's interesting. I like how the characters kind of intersect and stuff like that. Like, I don't think it's bad. I just like it never got its claws into me.
What the fuck? Really?
It never really made me go like. Again, I really like it. I think it's interesting, but it's like when I stop watching it, I stop thinking about it.
That was so for me. Like we talked about this multiple times. Like Space Brothers was supposed to be the one for us.
Yeah.
We're a couple of early 30s dudes. We're following a couple of early 30s dudes or late 20s or whatever. Like that was supposed to be. Oh, finally, anime for the grown fellas. And we kind of bounced off of it. We're like, not sure why. This one, like, this is another anime for the grown fellas that I fuck with so much. Like I really
think it's
really
great.
love Odd Taxi.
Yeah. I love the main character, the taxi guy and all that. I think it's good. I think I like everything else more. I think Odd Taxi is like a solid noir story, but also outside of anime, I've kind of seen noir stories and stuff like that before. I think all these other shows for me bring more to the table in terms of excitement, in terms of like either learning something new or an emotional level or all that jazz. That's where I'm at with the Odd Taxi. I don't know if you got one that you want to like be like, no, Stu, you're fucking crazy. But that's where I'm at with Odd Taxi.
I'm back at Zom 100.
You're back at Zom. What do you like about Odd Taxi more than you like about Zom 100? Because again, for me, it's that perfect piece of cake. It's got everything I want.
I think that Zom 100 and Odd Taxi kind of come at the same a notion from two very different angles. Like that's sort of like the difficulty of surviving the doldrums and the stress of everyday adult life. And where I think Zom 100 like kind of gets a way out by being goofy about it, like by the zombies attack and then main characters like I don't have to go to work anymore, and then like they spend the rest of their time having wacky adventures. For the most part, the characters of Odd Taxi like still have to navigate those trappings, and I think that they do a really good job of like making that interesting, especially considering how much of like this is another thing that I really love in animations and movies is when you can make long periods of talking interesting. Like Bakemonogatari is a really good example of that. I think that Odd Taxi did that very well. The dialogue between the characters is like some of the best that I've seen in like anime or movies in general. I think it's like really, really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I really, really like Odd Taxi.
You really, really like Odd Taxi. Do you like Chihaya Furu and Revolutionary Girl Utena more than you like Zom 100?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I'm in a similar kind of boat there.
Yeah.
Damn, we really should have included the veto system here.
Yeah. Boy, what I wouldn't give for a can of Bang Mix right now.
I know. Let's go in there. I see what you're saying about Odd Taxi there and like the being. All right, remember this. I'm going to give this to you. I'll put Zom 100 at there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm giving it to you.
I'm indebted now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I liked your argument about them not how they're dealing with that they don't get to escape from it. But I get to eulogize about Zom 100.
Absolutely.
Here. I think Zom 100 is fantastic. I think I love that it goes the opposite direction that every zombie thing goes.
Yeah.
Where it's power fantasy, which I guess a lot of zombie stuff does, but it's power fantasy in a way that's like about fulfilling what you wish you could have done in life, and in a way that's not necessarily super grimdark, but it's about like, I wish I could have spent more time with my friends, and now they're spending time with their friends, and it's like they're getting what they wish they could have gotten out of life. And I think that's what we all kind of want out of life.
Yeah.
And I think there's something beautiful about that, combined with a show that just looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like every moment of that show is great. I love the aesthetic
beautifully
choices of making the blood multicolor and stuff like that. And it's like, is that how the zombies are? It's like, it doesn't matter. It's just that the show looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally with you. I think Zom 100 was a fantastic anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Odd Taxi just like really hit a particular part of me
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you've convinced me. But okay, that puts
Zom 100 number
at number
6.
6. Okay.
Now this is getting tough.
Now, yeah, I know it was a real struggle there.
I've really got like one more play, and I'm really not happy about it. But and I don't think you're gonna like it at all. How are we feeling, Cyberpunk Edge Runners?
It's my favorite of the show.
It's your favorite of the
okay. It's my number one.
I was wondering what your number one was.
Yeah, that's you got it out of me. I was hoping to keep it secret, but no, that's by a pretty wide margin. That's I will fight you to the death about that.
One turn deserves another. I think Odd Taxi is kind of my number one, but I don't really have strong hopes of it getting there. That is interesting though. It's like one or two others that like I thought. Or
what did you think was going to be my number one?
I kind of anticipated Blue Lock, but now that I think about it, I don't know why.
I love Blue Lock.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Blue Lock is incredible. I'm very excited. The movie just came out.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, I guess it's like a Ender's Shadow kind of thing. It follows one of the other characters like through the Blue Lock camp.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, what was I saying? Cyberpunk. Okay, yeah. I don't want to push hard enough. Like I don't want to try to make that push right here, right now. Then.
Yeah, because I will.
Now I'm between two.
Okay. What are the two you're thinking? Because we're probably in similar boats.
Probably. Wait. Yeah. My two are Chihaya Furu and Utena.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Saying it out loud, I like Utena more than I like Chihaya Furu. Okay, Chihaya Furu. That's my
Furu. Yeah, I can agree with that one.
Yeah.
You wanna eulogize it there?
Yeah. Number 5, I believe it is.
Okay.
Is Chihaya Furu. Chihaya Furu is by and large a sports anime, and it does one of the things that I love sports anime for, is it makes me give a fuck about a thing I didn't give a fuck about before. I didn't really give a fuck about fucking like ice skating before I watched Yuri on Ice. I didn't give a fuck about I didn't give a fuck about soccer before I watched Blue Lock.
Yeah.
You know, it is a really magical thing, making me go from like, oh yeah, that thing that people do, to like, oh, I really care about this now. And Chihaya Furu has the bonus of it's about a weird, esoteric ass, old ass card game that very few people outside the country of Japan even knew about.
Yeah, I had no idea until.
I think statistically it's possible more people know about Karuta from Chihaya Furu than they knew about it anywhere else. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. Yeah, I think the main character is really endearing, like right off the bat, and I think that her sort of struggle with the guy who like falls out of it because his grandpa died. I think that was like really set up to be like a really good drama, and I've watched a couple more episodes, but I do want to like really dig in on that one more. The vibes are great. I like the all the characters and the settings and the way that they portray the matches of this game. I don't even really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was sick.
And it's I think the other thing too that I really found interesting was like I was like gonna watch more of the show, and I was like, oh, I'll watch the dub, and I was like, oh, you can't watch the dub because it's the Japanese haikus. Like the haikus
right, yeah. How would they do
wouldn't
that?
work in English.
Yeah.
You know, like you'd have to change what it is. It'd be this insane thing. So it's like, it's cool to see something so quintessentially Japanese.
Yeah.
Right? Like not in like, oh, mecha anime is so Japanese. Like, this is like really getting to, I feel like, to the roots, you know, at least from my outsider's perspective.
That's a
it
very
feels
good
like
point.
we're really seeing something kind of special here.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was dope all the way through.
Yeah, and that's on top of all the friendship stuff and how
True.
dramatic all of that is too.
The
Not
character
just
drama
the
is
game.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, the game is really kind of a like 50% of the show, and then the other half is this drama between these three friends.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
a sort of vessel that brings them together, and then like, you know, a lot of the conflict comes from the fact that like one of them is no longer invested in it.
Yeah, and then he's moving away, and how hard that is to deal with. Yeah, it's some really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, it's my turn for
Yep.
top 4 here. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. For me, it's between Blue Lock and Revolutionary Girl, Utena. I wish I could say Blue Lock right now and put that at number 4, but I like Blue Lock more than I like Revolutionary Girl, Utena. I wish I could like Utena more because Utena is so cool and I love its vibes and I love the impact that show has had on so many shows that I love.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Kill la Kill is one of my favorite animes, and like
Oh, and that's
you
like
just
dripping with that.
I know it's just like they made the same show.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's just
Or like the
Revolutionary
newest
Girl.
Gundam, like Witch from Mercury.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
wish I could say that, but I have not watched any more Utena. I have finished the first season of Blue Lock.
I mean,
I
same
was
exact
so into Blue Lock.
I have watched a handful more episodes of Utena, like maybe 3 or 4, and I really like it's entirely because like one I just like my attention span is bad and I'm always jumping to new things, and 2 is because like it's kind of difficult for me to like squirrel out time to find like to watch, like sit down and watch a show like long form. You know, work, girlfriend, social stuff, whatever. Felicia doesn't really like watch. She's kind of weird with TV shows, you know, like it takes a very particular one for her to like want to watch more than like one episode a quarter.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like we've been so slowly working through the Sopranos, but like every time I'm like, you want to watch more Sopranos? And she's like, no. So yeah, so that's like one big factor. I think if I really buckled down and watched like a lot of Utena, I would probably feel strongly enough to go like because like really this like comes down to like I've seen all of Blue Lock. I've even started rewatching parts of Blue Lock. I think it's incredible. It's one of my favorite sports animes.
Yeah, and I hate soccer.
Yeah, I don't
Like
fuck with soccer.
I actively do not enjoy that sport, but man, did I enjoy that anime.
Totally. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in Utena that I just haven't like gotten to yet.
Yeah.
Whereas I have kind of seen all that Blue Lock has to offer besides that movie that came out last week.
I know. I feel like such a dude bro being like, yeah, Blue Lock's better than
Yeah.
Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Yeah.
And I don't want to act like I didn't enjoy Utena.
No, Utena was sick.
Is even not counting the stuff that I love that it inspired. I really enjoy that show. Like
I think
the whole energy of it is so cool.
I think about the shot of Utena pulling the sword out of Anthe's chest on like a daily basis.
Oh, dude, I think about her going up those stairs while that metal song plays all the time.
Yeah,
It's so fucking cool.
Totally. Yeah, that's really tough, but like I can't disagree with you there. I think you're spot on. Fuck, I don't want it to be number. What is that? Number 4?
That's Revolutionary Girl Utena is number 4.
I want her to be top 3 so bad, but like
Yeah.
I don't think I can make the push for Cyberpunk, and I don't want to do that with Odd Taxi or Blue Lock. So
yeah, it's just. It's tough because I also I wanted that one to be higher, but it's
Yeah.
I like all those other. I like the other 3 shows more.
yeah, no, I feel it.
So there's that.
Yeah.
All right, it's over to you, but I'm ready to fight to the death because it's not Cyberpunk.
Blue Lock.
That's Blue Lock. Okay,
Yeah.
Blue Lock's number 3.
Really? You're just going for it?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Because I'm fully prepared to fight you on Odd Taxi. I've been preparing all my arguments in my head. No, I think I like Blue Lock more than Odd Taxi.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can win that fight against you. Like Odd Taxi is the show, like you were saying, that really connects with who we are as people, despite them being animal guys.
Yeah.
You know? And so
Like they even have
get
the what was it, the giraffe and the donkey guy? Like they have us in the show.
yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I just it just Blue Lock is such a great yeah.
I've been like all year I've been so excited for Blue Lock to come back.
Blue Lock is a what makes Blue Lock great is it's just that it's such a good execution of the shonen format.
Yeah.
But there's enough twists that I was actually like it actually surprised me.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Totally.
You know?
Especially towards the end of the season.
Especially towards the end. Oh my god.
Jeez.
So yeah, I was it takes the thing I like and it does a good twist on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Blue Lock is one of the best sports animes out there. I struggle to call it my favorite sports anime because Hajime no Ippo exists.
Yeah.
If this were Hajime no Ippo, I'd still be pushing for it to be number 1 like I did last time. But given that it's not, yeah. Yeah. I also just realized this is now a struggle. Like the 6-episode premise, like, you know, we can talk about how, like, you know, like a jury, we can talk about how, like, oh, it's supposed to only be the 6 episodes we watch. I've seen all of these. Like, I've seen all of these animes at this point.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, same.
Yeah, so
well, I guess I didn't finish. Not at Taxi,
yeah,
but yeah.
So we've kind of stretched past the, you know, the 6-episode rule at this point.
Yeah, we've gone beyond Super Saiyan.
Yeah, this is like the end of a fighting game tournament where it goes from like where it starts being best 3 out of 5 instead of best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I was about to say I'm not going to fight you as though I'm not the one who just picked it, but yeah, okay. I'm struggling not to fight myself on this, but
Blue Lock, yeah, it's a tough choice, but
Blue Lock number 3, and
Blue Lock number 3.
Yeah,
and I can agree with that.
Yeah, this is really like where because I feel like last time we did this, like emotions won the day with Kids on the Slope and Paranoia Agents and stuff. We can talk about like, oh, this had better animation and this had better this and this had better this, but like ultimately it just goes like, what made your heart feel the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, 100%. So that brings us to the finals here. The big fight of the night.
Grand finals.
Odd Taxi versus Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Are you team Odd Taxi for number 1? Or are you Cyberpunk Edgerunners? Because I'll say here, I'm Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think
if I hadn't made that so clear.
yeah. And I think I am team Odd Taxi.
Okay.
I really, because I did go back and finish Edgerunners, and I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
I felt like there was sort of some wasted potential in the kind of back half of it, because it's like 10 episodes, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
So we watched most of it. We watched over half.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
I guess ultimately the time skip between like, because it's episode 6 is where like shit goes really south.
Yeah.
Maine is his name, the big guy.
Something like that. I can't remember anybody in either show's name other than V.
There's well, V's not in his.
But David.
Oh, David.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
V.
Is he like the?
I think they call him V a few times.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
But obviously, the show takes place before the game,
right?
So
yeah. Anyway, so spoilers for these shows, by the way. I guess maybe we should put like a little disclaimer at the beginning. I don't know.
Yeah. We got a couple disclaimers to put on.
We've dropped a couple of spoilers already, but when Maine dies, I feel like that's like much like Kids on the Slope. That's kind of like where it peaked for me.
Yeah.
There's the time skip afterwards. David is put
much
on
like
a lot
Kids
more.
on the Slope, the previous winner of
Much like yeah, maybe that's not the best for my argument here. But I did feel like kind of after that time skip, like, you know, David has like gotten so many more mods and he's like so much more distant with Lucy and all this other stuff. It felt like it didn't have its hooks in me as much as it did the first half of it.
Yeah. But here's what I love about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. So animation killer, trigger doesn't miss.
Totally.
All this great stuff. But what I like about that back half is this sort of corruptive element. Like as you attempt to escape from this nightmare and like build a better life for yourself so that you don't have your mom get like killed because she doesn't have insurance or whatever. As you build this, you become in the show physically something that isn't you anymore. That you are a victim of the system without even realizing it. That the system is so destroying you and you are into it and you are here for it and you don't even realize that it's happening.
Yeah.
And to the point that you are destroying yourself in the same way that you saw someone absolutely destroy themselves and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
And just that sort of destructive cycle is so compelling to me.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree. I think that's like ultimately where my problem with the back half of it is because like David sees firsthand Maine do that to himself, right? He's putting on too many mods and he's like doing all this stuff and eventually like the cyberpsychosis overtakes him and David is like perfectly aware of what's going on and like it's not that I'm saying like CinemaSins ding like, oh, David should have learned from Maine's mistakes because he saw them in such clear detail. It's just they didn't really give us a compelling narrative as to why he didn't. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because that's what the society is. Like you go big or you go home. Like there is no.
But he's gone big. He's got the penthouse. He's got the Lucy's hanging out.
It's not enough.
Why isn't it enough?
Exactly.
But like, why isn't it enough? Why wasn't it enough for him?
It's because that's the society they live in. There's always more that you can get. There's always more that you can do. There's always more that you can be. You know, you can always be this physically bigger guy as well, and it just leads to this destruction.
If that's the case, and like I do see where you're coming from with that. If that's the case, I wish that they had like shown a little more of that, like given us a little more of like a peek into David's psyche of like why he feels so compelled to be that way.
That's how he was shown by those other guys. There's a whole montage where they're like, hey, you got to get more chrome. You got to get more of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like his whole upbringing after he becomes like an orphan is by these people who are on kind of in the dredges of society, but like that's how they're bringing him up. It's like, you got to go bigger. You got to do this next thing, right?
Yeah.
And even as Maine turns into a cyberpsychosis, it's still his friend, right? It's not necessarily that Maine made a mistake, but that he just that the confluence of things that happened caused his demise. Is, I think, the way David sees it.
That makes sense.
You know,
that makes sense. I guess Like I'm just saying, like I wish that we had like gotten more of a peek into that, like into David's psychology behind it, beyond like being able to piece that together ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like we could have woven a more compelling narrative than what was presented, because like a lot of it does feel like David like going too hard and then like Lucy going like, hey, maybe you should back off a little bit, and he's like, no,
can't.
Yeah, it felt like we weren't as behind David as we were anymore. Like we had like he had become this like alternate entity than the character that we were seeing through, like, because the first half we were like really seeing the world through his eyes, and I didn't really feel that way in the back half of it, and that like maybe felt a little more emotionally alienating to me than like something else like Odd Taxi, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
and we're I'm picking at straws here, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it was still sick all the way through.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, especially with like the ending of the show where like they're trying to like get away from like their situation and they're in this bad spot and just everything's going south and catching up on them. I just feel like that hit super hard. Odd Taxi, which I haven't been able to finish. I feel like Cyberpunk, I was compelled the whole way through. Odd Taxi, I think, is very interesting, but there's just kind of like it I think it kind of like, I don't want to say meanders, but like it spends a lot more time kind of like building up to what it's trying to do, and that can be a little dull by comparison. I feel like Cyberpunk, like every moment is like something big.
Yeah,
you know, like every shot is like boom.
Yeah.
You know? Like the payoffs are also like really quick too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the term meandering. I think in certain cases, as someone who really enjoyed Odd Taxi, I think it definitely does do that. And I think like that I would say meandering, like parentheses positive, you know, like it really lets you kind of live in that world and like really understand where the main character is coming from and all that. And I think that that's overall a good thing. Yeah, and like that's where it gets kind of tough, is because like I was obviously I watched that whole thing in like a weekend. I mainlined Odd Taxi like very quickly. So it's like, you know, you felt compelled to watch all the way through it. I did not, or other way around. I felt compelled to watch all the way through. You did not. And then Cyberpunk, where I did come around to watching the whole thing, it took me like a year or something. You know, eventually I was just like, oh yeah, I should probably pick up Cyberpunk again. Like I watched that earlier this year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So we're kind of at a stalemate.
Oh,
there.
we really are at a stalemate here. Yeah, and us without our bang mix here. I'm trying to think of how we work through this. I think Cyberpunk is a more visually compelling show. I think that it, on an animation level, is just knocking it out of the park 24/7. I think Odd Taxi, while not badly animated, I think Cyberpunk just has some absolute, like when they go slow-mo, the way they handle that, with like the different phases and all that. I think the action segments are just beautifully animated. And also all the whole, you know, vibe scene of like him and I think Lucy on like the moon, and like how that all kind of ties back at the end and whatnot. Yeah. Like Odd Taxi isn't a bad looking show, but I also feel like if they were humans instead of animals, it would be far less interesting.
That's fair. I think
it is, you know, it's smart that they chose animals, but
yeah. I think I do have to give you that point, because like, while I do think Odd Taxi, like the character animation is like kind of what's the word? It's not as like technical, it's not as flashy or anything like that. I do think that things like the set design and whatnot, like the way that they animate things, like the background and the overall like environments and stuff, are like really top notch. It's got really good vibes. Odd Taxi does, and I think that's like one thing that motivates me to care about it so much, is that like I really love the it feels almost comfy to me. Like it feels like it's like a what's the word? It's nice. I don't know. The vibes are nice. It looks really good for what it's doing.
Yeah, the vibes are nice, but like
it's not showing off the way that Cyberpunk is. Like Cyberpunk is like, you want to see some cool shit, there's some cool shit, you know.
Well, but let's also talk about like how hard hitting the first episodes are compared to each other, right?
Yeah.
Like the first episode of Odd Taxi deals with like this like kid who wants to be an influencer, and like he comes up and is a thing throughout the show, and it's like, you know, he does this thing. But like Cyberpunk deals with like there's this guy and he's got cyberpsychosis, which is going to be the theme throughout the entire show. And it's like he's going crazy and he's just in one of the coolest animated like violent scenes. It's like that. But then you also have like how crazy the world is and how David's mom gets caught up in this system that kills her and disillusions him with even more of the normal corpo life.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm trying to remember, was the episode in Odd Taxi with the kid with the erasers? Did you see that?
That's like in the third or fourth
Yeah,
episode.
okay. I was trying to remember like where that was. I thought that was a really like good one-off of that character. Like, you know, I like the individual stories that they tell in Odd Taxi. Like, I thought that was really neat. Like the influencer kid and the eraser kid and stuff
how
like that.
they kind of tied together and whatnot.
Yeah, and they really do tie together after a while.
No, because I keep wanting to say like, oh, this character's story didn't matter, but then I'm like, no, he shows up later and he does this thing. Yeah.
Exactly, and like just about every character has some connection that way.
Yeah. I'm like really digging for that like silver bullet. Like, you idiot! You forgot about the part where the man exploded from a gun.
I do like it when they explode from the guns.
Yeah.
No, I think. Here's what I'll say.
Okay. Let's each say one last bit here.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if it changes either of our minds. I can go first if you want to think about it.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. I'll say as a what I think works. What I said about Zom 100 about it being in a total package. I think Cyberpunk works on every level. Right. It is visually compelling. It feels like older anime while being absolutely modern. So just visually, absolutely aesthetic. Absolutely aesthetic. What did I just say?
Yeah,
absolutely great aesthetics.
Aesthetic, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic looking show. I think the action is top notch. I think Trigger continues to fully not miss, and I love that it still has that emotional angle to it. It has this sort of like the system's out to get you, and also you can't escape the system, even if you think you're escaping from it. I love how the characters visually change as they're going through different changes in their life. And I just, I'm all biased also. I think the world of Cyberpunk is really interesting, and I think this show really shows it well.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, that's my Cyberpunk argument.
Here's my Odd Taxi argument. Why the fuck was the Cyberpunk theme song by Franz Ferdinand?
Because it's a Netflix show. They can't escape it.
There's plenty of other Netflix shows that didn't do that.
No, there are plenty of Netflix shows.
They didn't do that with
have
Delicious in Dungeons.
They have it with so many other shows.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they did
I'll give you that. Odd Taxi has a better OP.
They did that with it's fucking Imagine Dragons did the OP, the ending for the new Kaiju number 8 show. Imagine Dragons.
Yeah,
What's wrong?
There's a number of
Fuck is wrong with you
Netflix
guys?
shows that have terrible Western bands as their openers. Yeah.
I'm okay with Western bands being like the OP. That's like, I don't care if the OP is in English. Franz Ferdinand, what the fucking year is it?
Yeah.
2024. Franz Ferdinand.
Okay.
Stupid.
That song, maybe not the best choice,
Yeah.
right? I don't think it's awful, but visually, that opening is killer.
That OP is pretty dope. I'll give it that.
The colors, the text choices, the font choices. Let's talk about the OP from a visual perspective. Oh man, I shouldn't. Visually, it's great.
Yeah.
David is burning and turning himself into a crisp. He's burning at both ends as he collapses by the end of the song.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, and the OP. You have your argument. I shouldn't have jumped down your throat there.
Why the fuck is Franz Ferdinand? That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
No, I think that Odd Taxi's story reaches out, touches me on a more personal level than that of Cyberpunk. But that being said, I do think that Cyberpunk's story is very good. And if we're talking just blow for blow visually and what they do with their animation and stuff, the scope of Cyberpunk is so much grander than Odd Taxi's just on every level. So aside from what the fuck, Franz Ferdinand, aside from that, I think I do have to. I don't know that I can push Odd Taxi as hard. Yeah, okay. I'm okay with Odd Taxi number 2, I think.
Yes!
I just don't have enough gas in that tank, especially like based on the 6 episodes to make it number 1. But Odd Taxi rules. Odd Taxi is very, very good.
All right. No, it's so funny with these kind of things where it's like I have to like dig at like Odd Taxi, and it's like the only thing I can come up with is that I kind of lose interest as I watch the show. Whereas, but that's not necessarily a knock on the show. I think Odd Taxi is very good. Yeah. And when people are like, I love that show, I get it. I totally do.
Totally.
And I have watched more of it. You know? And I can't say that for every show this season here. So
fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sort them. A to Z. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, let's go through the list.
Want to start?
So we'll bring it up on screen here. Okay, so let's go from the bottom here. So we've got at the very bottom, Reborn as a Vending Machine, Rent a Girlfriend, Bakura no, A Sign of Affection, Handyman Saito in Another World, Sunny Boy, Zoid's New Century, and then Flame of Recca. And then if you want to go from there.
Sure. And then after that, we have Hell's Paradise, Prince of Tennis, Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, Zom 100, Chihaya Furu, Revolutionary Girl Utena, Blue Lock, Odd Taxi, and at number 1, Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this top. I feel really good about this top 5, top 6.
I think so.
It's kind of a tough competition with 2 years ago's anniversary thing. So real quick, because I do have to get ready to leave in a little bit here. Cyberpunk versus Kids on the Slope. What fucking different? This is just the Odd Taxi and Cyberpunk argument again.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like we could sit here for ages and argue about it.
Yeah.
So, and I do have to unfortunately leave. So maybe we leave this for a future battle.
Yeah, maybe we'll just like hack that out in the next episode.
Yeah, hack it out in the comments. Which one do you think is better?
Hey, yeah.
I think we should talk about it at some point. But I honestly, you know what? Where I'm at, I don't actually know which one I like more. Yeah. Deal with that. Mind worm.
I think I still like Kids on the Slope more, but it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I think I like Cyberpunk more.
Yeah.
I think personally I like Cyberpunk more, but that has more to do with my biases around like I like sci-fi stuff.
Like
more.
what kind of stuff you enjoy?
Yeah.
I'm a jazz musician. Of course I'm going to enjoy Kids on the Slope more.
I like Cyberpunk more than I like jazz.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I definitely like jazz more than I like Cyberpunk. So there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Now, when are they going to combine those?
When are they going to combine
Cyberpunk
those?
Jazz Runners.
Is there not like a really jazz heavy Ghost in the Shell series or something?
The closest I can think is like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, kind of. That's like more space travel. Yeah, it's a little different.
I'm just thinking of sci-fi jazz. I don't know.
That's got to be the closest thing. There's Cowboy Bebop and there's Gundam Thunderbolt. I think it is.
Oh, that has a lot of
character's
jazz.
like a real bebop head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I can really think of.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
There we go.
Hey, if you need a new genre out there, anime, we're available for hire.
Yeah.
No, so that's the list. If you disagree with us, too bad. We're the authority.
Get in the comments.
Yeah,
tell us how much you disagree. Like maybe every line can be its own comment.
But also tell us how much you agree, because again, we can't change it. It's up. This is how it's going to be for the next year or two.
Set in stone.
So, yeah. Deal with it. I would love to do this again in a year. I would love to make this a yearly thing rather than a bi-yearly.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Biannual.
Is it biannual or is there a different? I can't remember.
Yeah, because bi is like every 2. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then semi-annual would be like twice a year.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. When people say like bi-weekly, like, does that mean twice a week or does it mean every 2 weeks? It's every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
I will settle that for you. It's every 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. We'll have the list up. Fight about it, but you're wrong. I'm trying to think. Well, so if you enjoyed listening to us ramble about anime, we're not going anywhere. This is year 4, and I think we've got a few more years.
I think so.
I plan on living to be 72.
Yeah.
So that's another, I don't know, 38
Several
years.
more of these.
Yeah,
at
38
least, yeah.
years-ish. Yeah. So,
That's going to translate to 19 more ranking episodes unless we get it annually.
wow, that's... It almost feels like you just cut my life in half. Just something existential about that one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. Do all the likes and bells and all that jazz.
Yeah.
We're also on Podbean if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're watching this on Podbean or something else, we're on YouTube. This is we've been doing a lot of video stuff lately,
Yeah.
so you can stare at our beautiful faces while we argue with each other.
That's right. We're wearing tuxedo t-shirts.
Oh yeah, our wonderful tuxedo
How about
T-shirts.
that? We got a couple nice comments when we went to the little corner store
yeah.
to get beers and snacks.
Hey, great shirt, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder what he thinks we're doing.
First guy said, "Nice suits."
Nice suits.
In our Sunday best on a Friday.
It's Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, it's
it's
Friday.
Friday. Yeah. You got anything you want to plug?
You are welcome to go check out my Bandcamp. 8mammoth.com. No, 8mammoth.bandcamp.com. God damn it. Yeah, I'm also on Twitter. Twitter.com/8mammoth. X.com/8mammoth. Whatever. Fuck you, Elon. I'm on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and any of those other ones. Search Octomammoth. You'll find me. Yeah, I got an album out that came out last year, and I've got more music on the way.
Killer
got
album.
a couple tracks on the way. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to that. Listen to my music.
And now we are officially entering. This is going to force me to do something. We are entering season 4 of Battle School Dropouts. We've
right.
been on season 3 for a while here, but
Yeah.
now we're going to BSD 4.
The OP and ED are changing.
Yeah. This thing behind us, this is going to be updated and all that. Might even be in the thumbnail. Who knows?
be.
So get excited for that. We might even be recording in a new place too. Who knows?
Yeah, quite possible.
We'll
I'm
see.
still looking for a couch. I still got to get a couch for the new
Oh,
place, is the
you got to
problem.
get a couch.
Yeah.
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 I'm not sitting on the floor.
No, yeah.
Fuck that. I don't got the knees for that. I'm old. This is the old man anime podcast.
Well, I've got my computer and my drum set in there, so like I'll sit at my drum kit and I'll sit at my computer.
I start being like, yeah, I think Cyberpunk is better.
Exactly. What? What'd you say? Huh?
Oh, I couldn't hear you over my sick drum beats.
Exactly.
All right, well, we'll see y'all next year if you only watch these ones, but otherwise we'll see you in the next episode.
Exactly. Good night, everybody.
Good night.